It started over a vat of beer, a feud that would bubble through the fire departments of this country. The year was 1913. The old fire horse was being blown off the road by a rackety new machine. Some called it progress. The sentimental saw war. Those who favored horses set up a showdown in Oklahoma City. 3 fire rigs lined up in the street. Horses scattered half-block away. At the sound of the fire bell, they all came running, each to his own rig, to his own harness, in record time. But the headlines followed the fire engines that not long after ran to a blaze in the city's ice plant. The crews hooked their hose inside to a large oaken tub and doused the flames with beer. The horses soon went the way of John Henry, retired to pull garbage trucks, but they got the last whinny. For years thereafter, every time a fire bell went off, a lot of wide-eyed garbage men got a fast trip to see the fire. You know, there's always been something magical about chasing fires. A siren song as old as adventure.
45, what's up, 40? Yeah, stays on 69.
Come on along. There's a house fire roaring down the back roads near Beaumont, Texas. We've hitched a ride with a volunteer fireman.
Give me some water!
11 men flash to the scene when the siren sings. Some would call them kids. All but 3 are under 18.
Anybody else in there?
The smoke tastes like a rusty knife.
Just fresh air.
Ruby Meredith had come home to a front door filled with smoke.
Get it running!
These volunteer firemen from a little town called Lumberton were the closest. No one asked their age at a house fire. Fire Marshal Gilly Bear.
Without these kids, we'd be up a creek without a paddle. A long creek with a short paddle.
Most folks who live near Lumberton work miles away at the big oil refineries along the Gulf Coast.
The fire on the ground?
The kids were trained to handle emergencies when the grown-ups are gone.
You all right? We got a fireman down out there.
It is dangerous. Steve Mullins was overcome with smoke. Fire Chief Mark Minton was burned.
Way to go, lad. Come on, run, lad.
And one of our ball players not playing today, Mark Minton, and he was on the scene of a fire this afternoon.
It is dangerous, and we recognize that it's dangerous, but we figure if they're 17 or 18 years old, they're old enough to go off to war. They're old enough to help us with our problems here at home, and that's the way we look at it.
Look, check to your right. If you see those sparks, you better watch out.
District Fire Chief Tommy Evans trains the unit.
Somebody's house is on fire and they're the only ones there. It's up to them to get it out. If perhaps somebody was in there, it's up to them to get them out, you know, somehow.
But the kids must have passing grades in school and on Tommy's truck before facing the flames.
What about a Halligan tool?
And there is one other lesson.
You learn how fragile life is. Like I say, you see somebody burn up halfway or somebody smashed up in a car wreck, it makes you think, hey, that could have been me.
But why risk it?
If we don't, who will?
The kids of Lumberton, Texas, a thin red line that watches over American dreams. For today, Bob Dotson, NBC News.